Welcome back to the community once again, ladies and gentlemen. Guess what is actually going on now in West Africa? As Guinea marked its return to constitutional rule, a quiet message reportedly crossed national borders according to emerging reports. Ladies and gentlemen, Burkina Faso's military leader, Captain Ibrahim Traoré, privately reached out to Guinea's newly sworn-in president with words that carried weight beyond the ceremony itself. The message was brief, symbolic, and of course, ladies and gentlemen, meant strictly for leadership, and its deeper meaning unfolds as this story continues. A major political event took place in Guinea during a national inauguration ceremony held at the Genoa Lansana Conte Stadium in Nungo. On that day, ladies and gentlemen, the leader of the ceremony formally took the oath of office and assumed duties as the elected president of the Republic of Guinea.
Président de la République élu.
During the ceremony, ladies and gentlemen, the president of the country publicly swore to uphold the constitution, the laws, and of course, judicial decisions of Guinea. The oath was delivered before state officials, invited guests, and of course, the wider public. From the moment the oath was taken, ladies and gentlemen, the president was legally recognized as the elected and acting head of state. Yes. So he said, and I quote, "I, Mamadi Doumbouya, President of the Republic of Guinea, swear before God and before the people of Guinea to respect and strictly uphold or support the constitution, the laws, and judicial decisions, and to serve faithfully and honorably the highest interest of the nation," said the president of the country of Guinea. Ladies and gentlemen, now let's continue. The ceremony followed presidential elections that were held on December 28, 2025. Yes. So according to officially released results, the election produced a clear outcome, allowing the inauguration to move forward under the newly adopted constitutional framework. These events did not actually only mark the beginning of a presidential term, ladies and gentlemen. It also formally closed the country's transitional period. From that point onward, transitional bodies ceased their functions and state governance began operating fully under the renewed constitutional system, signaling to return to constitutional order. Before we continue, ladies and gentlemen, please take a moment to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. Your support helps bring in calm and, of course, factual reporting to a wider audience. The inauguration ceremony was attended by a wide range of high delegations, ladies and gentlemen. Guess what? Several heads of states from across Africa were present, alongside vice presidents and senior representatives from other regions or states. Delegations also included officials from Mali, Rwanda, Sierra Leone, Senegal, Gabon, Mauritania, Liberia, Morocco, Guinea, Nigeria, the Gambia, and other countries or states. Okay, so representatives of regional and of course international bodies were also in attendance. Yes, so ladies and gentlemen, now among them was the Economic Community of West African States, for short ECOWAS, reflecting continued regional attention to Guinea's political process. The presence of these delegations highlighting the broader importance of the event beyond Guinea's borders. So ladies and gentlemen, during the ceremony, the Prosecutor General of the Supreme Court addressed the gathering. The senior judicial official stated that the inauguration marked a key moment in the institutional life of the country or state. The address recalled the adoption of the new constitution and explained that the oath confirmed the legal transfer of authority. With the oath completed, the president became fully responsible for leading the state under constitutional rules. From other moments, ladies and gentlemen, public institutions began operating within the renewed legal framework, with governance now centered on elected authority rather than transitional arrangements. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let us now dive deeper into this. Guinea's transition period followed a time of political change that required new legal structures and national dialogue. The adoption of a new constitution created, the basis of elections and the eventual return of constitutional governance. The inauguration ceremony represented the final legal steps in that process. Reactions to the event have remained largely, formal and diplomatic. Yes, so many attending delegations viewed the ceremony as a signal of institutional continuity and stability. Regional observers noted the importance of following constitutional, procedures in maintaining trust between states and institutions. Separately, ladies and gentlemen, reports have have circulated about a private phone call allegedly, made by the president of Burkina Faso, Captain Ibrahim Traoré, to the newly inaugurated president of Guinea. According to these reports, ladies and gentlemen, the Burkina Faso leader, which is Captain Ibrahim Traoré, is said to have offered a personal message focused on governance and public responsibility. The message, as reported, emphasized that leadership should reflect the real needs and interests of citizens if it is to be remembered with respect. Additional reports claim that symbolic gestures seen during the ceremony were referenced as reminders that care shown in public life should be reflected in government action. These reports, ladies and gentlemen, have not been formally confirmed yet, okay, and no official statement has been released by elder governments regarding the content of such a conversation. With the inauguration completed, Guinea has formally, entered a new, phase of governance under its renewed constitution. All state institutions are now expected to function within the legal framework with authority resting in elected offices rather than, transitional bodies. So, ladies and gentlemen, the end of the transition places, responsibility on constitutional institutions to deliver public services, uphold the rule of law, and manage state affairs according to established legal standards. Regional and international partners will likely continue to observe, how these institutions operate in practice. So the inauguration also carries symbolic meaning. It represents closure for a period of transition and, the start of routine, constitutional governance. For citizens, it marks a shift towards normal political, processes guided by law rather than temporary arrangements. So as Guinea moves forward, attention will remain on how the constitutional system functions day by day or continuously. The focus now turns from ceremony to governance and from transition to responsibility. Yes, so thank you so much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. If you found this report helpful, please like the video, subscribe to our channel, and turn on notifications, okay, for more calm and factual global news coverage like this. Okay, see you in the next update.